Hey everyone, I'm Sonnia and this is Sonnia's Spotlight. On this channel, I spotlight the vegan community. There are so many wonderful people, places, and things that make up this community, and I'd like to share them with you. If this is something that you're interested in, please keep watching and please consider subscribing. Thank you, and let's get to it. In this video, I sit down with a celebrity realtor, Chimere Washington, who shares secrets to her success and her vegan journey. Thank you so much for being here today, Chimere. I appreciate your time.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So for those who don't know, Chimere is the top luxury home realtor, and she is a huge advocate for animal compassion. And she also uses her platform to share information about veganism. So Chimere, I wanted to thank you for using your platform for veganism because, you know, everyone is on Instagram and they can use your platform for anything, right? And so when people use it to advocate for animal compassion, I just absolutely love it and appreciate it. So thank you for doing that.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So, Chimere, you are a realtor and you're a vegan. Let's start first into your vegan journey. So, how long have you been vegan and tell us about your journey?
So I've been vegan a little over a year and some change now. Before that, I was pescatarian, and my vegan journey started, I would say, when I watched What the Health. That really opened my eyes. That documentary just it sh- it shed so much light on the dairy industry, the animal abuse behind it all. You know, a lot of times, because I was raised eating meat and drinking milk, that's how I was raised up until a year and a half ago. And so I feel like people are brainwashed and they're not told really what goes on behind the scenes. That's why there's no glass in slaughterhouses. They don't want you to see what goes on there.
Right.
And so there's enough there's enough footage and enough information out there for people to really understand and open their eyes as to what's really going on behind the scenes. And when food is, I don't even look at like animals as food though now. Like it's just really different for me, because animals are beings just like us. They have personalities like us. Like,
Mhm.
pigs are just like dogs, and I have two dogs. So when I became vegan, I really took a lot of time and energy and focused on educating myself on just the whole food industry, and watching those horrible slaughter videos of the animals. Like, I would spend hours on days, and
Mhm.
my boyfriend could testify to this. I would be in bed just like watching them. And as cruel as that sounds, I just needed to know, like, oh my God, I have been supporting this business for, I'll be 39 in a month or so. So I've been supporting these industries for almost 37 years,
Yeah.
and, you know, I, I had a really tough time. Like, I would have acne kind of like all over my neck, my chest, and my face and stuff. And
Mhm.
once I got rid of the dairy in
Mhm.
my diet, it cleared up completely. And so now people
Yeah.
are like, what are you using as like a face regimen? Like, your skin
Yeah.
is glowing. And I'm like, I'm vegan.
Yeah.
Like, it's just very simple and easy. Like, I cut out dairy and that was it.
Yeah.
And people are like, what? Like, so I feel like it's a lot of educating that you have to do.
Yeah.
It's kind of like inform people as to, because they're too brainwashed, right? Like, our generation, and it's unfortunate that, like, the future generations, I think, will pick up more on the veganism. But like for me, my generation, we're used to the old school things of doing things.
Yep.
So I'm really thankful and grateful that I was able to not only watch that What the Health documentary, and it
Mhm.
opened my eyes completely. And now I'm, able to share and educate others on the importance of changing your lifestyle. And, I'm African American. And so a lot of, my aunts, my uncles, my mom's friends, like, they all
Mhm.
have diabetes and like health issues and all these things. And it's just a simple thing:
Yeah.
change your diet.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Change your diet, and a lot of those things are reversible. So I could go on for days about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's definitely a topic that we can just go on and on about because, I mean, like you said, we grew up, I'm Filipino, so we're very meat heavy in our culture, and we grew up with that, and then once we,
yeah,
were
yes,
exposed to the reality of it, what actually happens. I mean, it's shocking, right? It's shocking, and yeah,
yeah,
and it's a topic that is never ending, for sure. Now,
right,
is
right,
everyone
right.
in your household also vegan?
Yeah, so it's just me and my boyfriend, and I thank him every day almost. I'm like, thank you for just being supportive of
Right.
this new lifestyle change, because I don't think I could date somebody who isn't vegan now. Like,
Yeah.
I'm never, and I've told him this, I'm never gonna cook an animal ever
Yeah.
again. Like, you'll
Yeah.
never see me cooking chicken, you'll never see me cooking steaks or anything like that. Like, those days are behind me.
Right.
And even him, he wasn't vegan. Obviously, we were both non-vegans when we met.
Hmm.
We've been dating 5 years. Um, he said, when I think it was, I think he became vegan shortly after me. Um, but he just felt a difference. Like, he had more energy because he plays basketball, and the guys on the court that ate meat and dairy, like those would be the ones like huffing and puffing, and then
Yeah.
he's like, Superman running all over the court. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing what the differences are. I mean, first and foremost that we noticed was our skin, and it's like,
yeah, yeah,
and that's like a true testament, right? And what they put in animals versus, what you're eating, what healing properties the plants have. So
right.
yeah. And so one of the things that I saw on your stories, or often actually,
Mhm.
is how many of your friends became vegan or started eating plant-based because of your testimonials, because of your encouragement.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of friends that are, becoming vegan or eating more plant-based?
Yeah. So I've had people, not only people that I know, but people who follow me on Instagram that I've never met in life have, reached out and said, "Hey, Chimere, due to your post, like, I'm now vegan,
Wow.
or I'm eating, 3 plant-based meals a week, just on your postings." And I know some of them can be very like out there, but hey, this is me. Like,
Yeah.
you can unfollow me, you can do whatever, but this is the truth,
Yeah.
and a lot of people don't want to hear the truth about things. And so they want to avoid them or like act like they don't see. But
Mhm.
for the people that are looking at the stories and really taking and digesting in all of the information that I put out there,
Mhm.
it's hitting home.
Yeah.
It's really hitting home for people. So I'm going to continue to educate. I'm going to continue to share what I know about it, and different products and things, because I think a lot of times people, they think it's hard to be vegan,
Yeah.
and it's really not. You
No.
go, if you want pizza, go get pizza.
Right.
Get like olive oil rub or like garlic rub,
Mhm.
and they have the diet cheese now at a lot of places. Like,
Mhm.
it's really, really easy.
Yeah.
People make it seem like it's a really hard thing, but it's not.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, um, yeah, a lot of people are transitioning into a better kind of lifestyle, because they see the benefits, like in me.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah.
let's shift a little bit more into your realtor career, and tell us, how long have you been in real estate?
I've been a realtor for almost 11 and a half years. I got into the business. I'll just tell you a little backstory. So I lived in Los Angeles for 10 years. I was a casting director with MTV. So I did all of the casting for all of those crazy reality shows. It was reality TV before reality TV really hit, like,
Wow.
the networks. Um, so I was kind of on the ground level of, like, helping people, I guess, get adapted to the new change of TV,
Mm.
because didn't really know what really reality TV was back then. It was so brand new.
Yeah.
So I was casting director in LA. Then my dad got sick here. I'm originally from the Bay Area.
Okay.
Moved here, could no longer, work in casting because there was no market for it. I mean, San Francisco had a small one, but it wasn't enough to work on multiple shows like in LA.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, well, the next best thing, because I really, really, really wanted to work in real estate in LA, but you couldn't do both. You could only do one or the other. So
Okay.
when I moved home, I said, okay, I'm getting into real estate because I knew that I wanted the freedom and I didn't want a boss and I didn't want to cap on my salary. Like I wanted to make as much money as possible, have all the freedom in the world and kill it. So so I took the classes while I was taking care of my dad and got licensed. I had a plan in place because a lot of times I tell real estate agents that hit me up, they're like, hey, you make it look so easy. I want to get into the business. I'm like, do you really?
Yeah.
You have no idea what goes on behind the scenes. I don't tell everybody everything.
Mm-hmm.
But vision boards were huge for me in the beginning of my career. Even before I got my license, I had a vision board of the things that I want, in life and the type of clients that I want to work for and work with. The Golden State Warriors logo was on my first vision board, the old school logo of the Warriors, the guy with the lightning bolt thing. That, and then the Raiders logo. I had a Range Rover on there, and mind you, I didn't have any of this. I wasn't working with any of those guys. I didn't own the Range Rover. I didn't own nothing, none of those things.
Yeah.
And but I had this vision of this is what I want my life to kind of look like and shape my business.
Yeah.
So got into the business. I would say my second year selling real estate. I got my first big listing of 4.5 million. It was Gary Payton's house in Black Hawk. And the way I met him was through my cousin who used to do security for him when he played basketball back in the day. So it's you really have to work your sphere of influence of the people that that you can be introduced to, kind of thing. So I said, okay, I know I want to work with NBA, NFL type players.
Mm-hmm.
So who in my family knows them or can make the introduction? So I just really brainstormed, and I was like, okay, yeah. And my uncle played for the 49ers back in the 80s, Chimere Washington. So I tapped into that aspect of things. So it's really about working who you know. And if they don't know, they must know somebody.
Right.
So it was very much of a lot of calling, just asking, which, it's like a closed mouth don't get fed. You can't be afraid, and you just have to go for it. And, I knew that one day I was going to be successful and work for those people. And I am now. I've been working with the Golden State Warriors for almost 6 years, placing their guys in housing every single season, which has been a complete blessing.
Wow.
So I spoke all of those things into existence. I'm a huge advocate of what you think about, you bring about. That's my motto in life, right? That's anything. So you have to be so careful what you think about, because it will come to fruition. It will come to life. Mm-hmm. And I am a testament to that. I still have my very first vision board that I created, and I'm now working with all of those organizations. I had that white Range Rover, sold it years ago, but again, it's setting goals and doing whatever it takes to get those goals knocked down.
Can you tell us about some of your pre-game rituals before you start a listing?
Let's see. Well, every listing's different. There's the recently, I'll tell you about this one listing I had in Oakland, in the Oakland Hills. So I placed one of my Golden State Warrior clients in there to lease the home for a year because the owners lived in New York City. And from that, just from placing him in the house for a year, the owner said, Chimere did a great job. Like, he paid on time. Like, he was a great tenant. We want you to list the house for sale because we're going through a divorce now and we have to basically sell everything. So mind you, the house was completely furnished because they were using it as Airbnb before he moved in.
Oh.
So with them being in New York, I had to literally like sell everything in this gigantic house,
Wow.
right? So I had to do an estate sale and, you know, get my movers to move the rest of the stuff out to get it ready to be staged.
Yeah.
So like literally every property is a little different, because again, they were out of state clients, and it sold very fast, which I was super blessed for. But I would say one of my main rituals that I do on every single listing is plant St. Joseph. There's a little St. Joseph statue. He helps you sell homes, and he blesses the sale. And you're supposed to dig him out every single time the house sells, but I always forget. So he's just like planted out all these properties, but he's blessing them, so it's all good, you know. But, okay, so that's one ritual, and I'm telling you, there has been listings that I forgot to plant him. And then I'll go back and be like, oh my God, I forgot my St. Joseph statue. He's not in the ground, right?
Yeah.
So I'll go get the statue and plant it, and then I'll get an offer the next day.
Wow.
So, and I'm Catholic, right? But you don't have to be Catholic to do it. But that has worked a lot, and I've shared that with other realtor friends of mine, and it's worked for them. They've had stale properties that have been sitting on the market forever. You know, people stop looking at it, and then all of a sudden they plant the St. Joseph statue. You have to do it upside down. His head has to go in the dirt. Okay. And they've gotten offers and sold it.
Wow, that is amazing. I'm a true believer in all of that. We were raised Catholic too, so but I'm a true believer in all good energy and everything. So that's amazing. You know, one of the other things that I've seen on your stories is your before and afters. Gosh, they're so amazing. I mean, night and day doesn't even cover it, right? They just turn out so amazing. So I was going to ask you, where do you draw your inspiration from to, you know, probably, you know, every listing, like you said, is different, but where do you draw your inspiration from for the before and afters?
Well, I can look at something and say, okay, it needs a red door and a new light fixture without spending a lot of money. And I think it's just in me, like my creative side kind of comes out because I've always been very creative with things. I like to beautify spaces. And if I see something looking a little boring or something, I need to add a little pop to it, whether it be like painting the front door red or painting the front door, you know, yellow or whatever, just to kind of bring some energy to it. And I know what buyers look for too. They look for simplicity, and that a property is well maintained. So a lot of clients will call me and say, hey, you know, we need help with, like recently I have a listing coming up in San Francisco. So I told them exactly what they need to do. Declutter, less is more. So I would say just adding like a fancy light fixture, or you know, adding or like painting, like if the room is like all blue or all black or something, paint it all white. Put a pretty light fixture in there. It'll change the whole energy and the whole mood like instantly. You know, if you have like, trying to think of some other ideas, it's just kind of in me. So, and it just comes really, really, really easy for me. I just know how to walk into a room and say, okay, this needs to go, that needs to go, that can stay, but maybe we'll add a little pop, like some throw pillows, you know, take those old ones out, put some new ones in, and I have a storage house here at my house that's like full of like staged items that I can use at certain people's homes, you know, and bring over. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So I don't really do that anymore. I'm not getting any younger. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, it sounds like it's a lot of work. I'm sure that, it takes so much planning and researching also. So, one of the other things that before we get into the Fave Five, I wanted to talk about, for those who are looking to get into real estate or who is in real estate and is having a hard time, like what tips or, advice that do you have for them?
Sure. So I get this question a lot. I would say if you're thinking about real estate, get into the business for the right reasons. Don't get into the business just for the money, because the money will come and go. There's seasons where you may not sell a house for 6 months. Then what? So you have to be extremely passionate about the business, and that's helping people. It's just helping people, genuinely helping people. I can tell you, when I first got into the business, there was roughly 40 people in my, it was like a training for new agents, 40 people. And my manager at the time said, well, I can tell you right now that there maybe only be 10 of you guys still in the business after 3-4 years. And he was right spot on. Right spot on. And all those 30 people are no longer in the business. And now they're working 9-to-5s. So again, there has to be, because I love design, I love helping people. I love, of course, making money, right, is always a nice thing. I love the fact of I can be in control of my life, my time, my energy. I can now choose who I want to work with, because when I first started real estate, I had to work with everybody, right? Because you're new, you'll just take anything. But now I'm seasoned. And if something doesn't work out right, I'm not afraid to fire a client. I've done that before, So it's it's not, all money is not good money. And I tell people that all the time, all money is not good money. I meditate a lot on the clients that I want to come into my life and I want to work with. And so again, for new agents, I would say put a plan together. Okay, if you're compassionate about it and you want to get in real estate, you love real estate, you love architectural design, all that fun stuff, and you want to help people, and that's a bonus and you get paid, cool. But put a plan together. Put a plan, do your vision boards, set your goals. You're not going to really know in the beginning, you're not going to really know if you like working with buyers versus working with sellers. For me, when I first got in the business, I had to work with everybody. But now I am just really a listing agent. Of course, I'll help family, friends, other clients if they need to find something to buy. Absolutely. But my strong point is listing properties, because I have the control to like we just talked about, the design aspect of things.
Right.
And helping them, get the most out of their money, whether that's clearing out a whole garage, it's going to net you $20,000. So I can kind of tell them what they need to do in order to get from here to here. So set your goals, do your vision boards, and have a plan in place. And that's what I would tell people.
That's awesome. And I love the fact that you said that not all money is good money. So that is, that's a huge thing to remember, not just in real estate, just anything, in life in general. So that's some really good advice too. So thank you very much for that. So we're at the part of the interview that I call the Fave Five, where I ask you 5 of your favorite things.
Okay.
And so the first thing is, what is your favorite comfort food?
My favorite comfort food, it would probably be pizza.
Yes. I love pizza too.
Yeah. I think that would be my favorite. Before it used to be pasta, but I'm not really making a lot of pastas anymore, so pizza.
Yeah, awesome. And then do you have a favorite restaurant?
Yeah, I do. Well, I have a couple.
Okay.
So I would say, ooh, Millennium
Oh yeah.
is probably one of my favorites because
Hmm.
it's like a fancy vegan place.
Yeah.
And like I've tried everything almost on the menu and everything is good.
Yeah.
So that would be like my favorite fancy vegan place.
Okay.
My my favorite like casual kind of like everyday place would be Vegan Mob.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
fried fish are amazing. No,
Yeah.
the fried no, it's the fried shrimp. That's like my favorite thing there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I love it. I love Vegan Mob too. Yeah, we went to their grand opening and it was just, I mean, it was live. I loved it.
yeah,
All their food is so good. I ordered almost everything there.
yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, because the owner, Toriano, he actually catered me and Gary through a Hella Vegan event
Oh,
I think it was last November now. And we exceeded our ticket sales. We were only expecting maybe 50 people to come because we're like, it's first time, like, we'll see kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah, we had 85 people that came. So we're
Wow.
trying to plan our next event once like COVID is over and all of
Yeah.
that. So I'm sure
Yeah.
Toriano will be a part of that as well.
Oh, wow. I can't wait for that. Awesome. And then, do you have a favorite place that you visited?
I would say my favorite place is Napa. Like I would love to retire there once I'm done with like selling real estate and like the kids are off to college and stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
would love to just like buy a house in Napa and live my last days there. I
Yeah.
love going there. It's not too far.
Mm-hmm.
It's peaceful, it's serene,
Mm-hmm.
and it it, it it's really good energy when I get there. I just feel like I'm in a different space and I'm in a different world. So Napa.
Yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely beautiful for sure.
Yeah.
And then, what is your favorite form of self-care?
Favorite form of self-care would be sitting in my sauna, drinking my matcha latte. Oat matcha latte.
There you go.
And really just doing like landscape work or like working in my garden.
Yeah.
Because when I work outside, I kind of just escape it all. Like I kind of just I put my phone aside and like I'm just tuned into the plants and making sure they're good. And like, that's my form of self-care, really. We eat good. So,
Mhm.
it's, I think that would be my form of self-care, just being in the presence of like my plants and being in my backyard and kind of just like watching my puppies just chill out. And like, that's really it.
Yeah. Well, that sounds amazing. I mean, any R&R is great form of self-care for sure. And so my final question is, do you have a favorite quote, saying, or words to live by?
Of course, I'll reiterate it. What you think about, you bring about.
That's awesome.
Anything you
Yes.
put in your mind, any seed that you plant in your mind, it becomes you, and the universe will have its way of bringing it full circle. So just, I tell people all the time, like, be careful what you think about because it will come to life, good and bad. So if you have those bad thoughts, like hurry up and change them into good thoughts. So yeah, what you think about, you bring about. And I it came from The Secret. I'm a huge advocate of The Secret. I watched it when I was in college, I think. I was in LA at the time, and it's a manifestation video.
Mhm.
Um, highly recommend it. It's in a book form, and it's also like, I think it's even on Netflix now.
Okay.
So yeah, highly recommend it. It talks about again, just like what you think about, the power of the mind,
Mhm.
and anything that you want in life, you can get it.
Yeah. That's
So,
awesome. I love that. Thank you so much. Well, everyone, if you have not followed her yet, please follow Chimere on Instagram. She is a celebrity realtor there on Instagram. And also, if you are looking for real estate or have any real estate questions, go and hit her up. She is the top luxury home realtor, and she will hook you up. Thank you so much, Chimere. I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.